So I see someone in the chat. Don't be a clown, Pappy. Don't be a clown. Otherwise, just leave. This morning, in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss for Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. We go. Here we go. So we are getting into our next game as we're getting into our fresh series and into our fresh best of 5. When it comes to Clem and Classic, they do often trade back and forth. Classic, you can make an argument, is the best, has the best PvT in the world. You can make that argument here. Of course, you have Hero, you have MaxFax, like they are the trifecta right now when it comes to Protoss. Classic, MaxFax, and Hero. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses. I think what I appreciate is that all three of them have their own unique styles. We have Hero, who's a little more chaotic, who is a little more experimental with some of his play. We have Classic, who is a little bit more standard in his play, even more so than I would say MaxFax. Classic, he does often play towards the mid to late game as well. That is where Classic can thrive. And we'll see how he compares to Clem. Clem, he's also been really exploring himself in this matchup in the latest patch. We've been seeing Clem be hyper aggressive and go for a lot of all-ins. We've also seen Clem go for some more standard play as well. He has been kind of like mixing things up a little bit. Of course, he's been very vocal about this matchup as well. True. Clem has vented his frustrations. But here we go. Here we go. Despite that, Clem is still like the best Terran player in the world, and he still has the best TvP in the world as well, for sure. But it has taken some time to acclimate to the latest patch. Now we are settling in. Standard openers all around. Clem going for something more economic, going for a Rax expand. Likewise, Classic going for his own gate expand into Cybercore as well. Seeing the chat, is this the finals? This is the quarterfinals. This is the final quarterfinals match. We're here in the round of 8. Round of 8. Behind this, Clem, he's going for a second Rax. Okay, so speaking of hyper aggression, Clem, he's going for a 2-1-1. If he was going for a third Rax, this would be indicative of a 2-base all-in. He's going for a starport, so this is still very aggressive. He's going for an earlier stim timing. So earlier stim timing out of Clem, going for a 2-1-1. This is a risky build to go for. It is not often seen in this matchup. It's more of a standard TVZ build. Oh, he does snipe that Stalker. Tanks are on the way. Clem is building up. And again, he's building up towards an earlier push. Now, my assumption was this was going to be a Tech Lab and add-on swap into Stim. No Tech Lab. No Tech Lab, no add-on swap. We're rallying out the tanks. And we might just push with the first medevac. Oh boy. Clem, he'll have the option to pull the boys. He'll have the option to pull the boys with this. Classic, he's going 2-gate blink. Oh no. This is a build that is out of favor right now. 2-gate blink is very out of meta. This was all the craze at the start of the year, but then we had the rise of 2-base all-ins. So this build, it's not seen anymore for good reason. Oh boy. This is a bold move here from Classic. Very greedy. So 2-gate blink into a third. Going for a delayed robo, delayed gases. And Clem, he will soon pull the trigger. Clem, he hasn't even scouted, by the way. He's seen nothing. Clem, he has no idea what's going on, but it's all lining up well for him. It's all lining up well. He's pushing. Here come the tanks. Here comes the bio. And Classic doesn't really have anything to defend. What does he have? He has 6 Stalkers, of course, but again, he has a low gateway count. He has the gateways are still on the way. Low gateway count because of this fast third. Very greedy build here by Classic. Clem is pushing in. He's holding onto those tanks. And he boosts. Yeah, he does boost forward. Tanks will siege. Nice control. Saves one of the tanks. It does save him. Tank ball is going off. One tank goes down, but the other does siege up. Within range of the army, within range of the third. Yeah, and so many Stalkers fall. Brutal pickoffs. With that, the third base is going to be forfeits. Classic, he fought for it, and he let out so many units. Yeah, he let out too much. Behind this, we have some Immortals on the way. Charges on the way as well. Still in production. Oh, the Cyclone survived. Barely survived. Yeah, 2 harassing Stalkers left. And there's no saving this third. It's not going to happen. From here, Clem can just keep pushing. He can just keep pushing into the natural. There is an Immortal, though, so that has to be respected. Yeah, tank goes down, and Classic, he will survive. But at a cost. Ooh, it's Classic supply blocked. Brutal supply block. And he's backing up. He's rotating. Rotates around, a tank, oh, does not get taken out. Very nice. Oh, the pickup micro. Clem, calm down. Este Clem. Yeah, saves the tanks, punishes the Stalkers. Liberation has arrived, zoning away the Immortal. Ooh, tank does punish. And this is critical damage. This is already critical damage. Takes down the final Immortal. Well, the first Immortal, I should say. And behind this, Clem is expanding. Clem, he has a CC in the main base. Stim is on the way as well. He's building up into the mid game with a massive lead. Oh. Clem brings down the Zealots. Stim's in. All right, Stim is done. Stim, he's waiting for reinforcements, then he can just rally, and there's just no chance for Classic to save and hold on to his third. Like, it just should not happen. He's taken too many losses. The army's a little bit overstimmed, but medevacs have finally arrived. Medevacs reinforce. And Classic, he just had no room to breathe this game. Liberated to the main base. That's kiting here by Clem. Liberated does siege up. Probes are going down. Getting Classic his strategy, just doesn't have the supply to work with. And this should be his final stand. The Immortal goes down, no shield batteries. No defensive setup. You just can't afford it. Not like this. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And this is, I feel like this game was a really good example of just how familiar they are with each other. Again, Classic and Clem, they often trade. They often go back and forth. We've seen Classic beat Clem. We've seen Clem beat Classic. Classic, of course, he's the one that knocked Clem out of EWC, for example, at this most recent Esports World Cup. And even in the weeklies, like Classic is one that does often threaten Clem. But winding it back, the reason why I bring that up is because what happened this game? Clem didn't scout. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. Clem, he was blindly going for a 2-1-1 early tank push without Stim, with Pure Marine, with 2 tanks, and blindly he was punishing the hyper greed of Classic. He had no confirmation that Classic was being greedy, he just made that assumption. He was assuming that Classic was cutting corners. Winding it back, what did Classic go for? 2-gate blink. He went 2-gate blink into a third. This is a build that is very... I would say old-fashioned. It's very previous meta, like 2 patches ago or start of the year. Like, it's from the start of the year. This was very, very common, very go-to go for this greedy build. But if you remember, that all fell by the wayside in the lead up to DreamHack Dallas. In the lead up to DreamHack Dallas, that is when we saw the rise of 2 ace all-ins in this matchup, and that is when this build died in TvP, because it's just so greedy, and Protoss players, they just stopped going for it because it was so common for Terran players to cheese 2 all-in, and because of that, we saw safer builds rise up instead. 3-gate blink Stalker, 3-gate blink, faster robo, faster gases. Here, Classic did cut corners, and Clem did punish. Clem did punish. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. So again, just a really good read, or a really nice kind of game sense, or really metagaming is maybe the better way of putting it. Metagaming there by Clem, because he had zero information. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultralove, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss, the South Green Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. As we're getting into game 2 now, as a reminder, welcome to Ultralove. Ultralove is a much more aggressive map in the map pool. Shorter rushes, my ground, more exposed, third expansion as well. You have this area in between the third, the fourth, and the natural that can be abused. This low ground area to wedge yourself in between as the aggressing Terran player. We do expect safer play by Classic this time. Not 2-gate Blink, we're expecting 3-gate Blink Stalker, and maybe even the Robo and Gases as well, also on 2 bases. We'll see how safe he plays. Likewise, Clem should not be anywhere near as aggressive either, as there's a lower chance that it would be as successful, but we'll see. For now, economic opener, racks expand. So single gas start here from Clem. There's a higher chance that this time he does open up Reaper. Last game he did skip his Reaper Scout, he skipped his SCV Scout. And this time, yep, Reaper is on the way. Again, just because of the map, just because of how the series has progressed, makes sense to get some scouting information. As the SCV moves out as well. So you can kind of see how like a series evolves over time. How one game impacts the other. So Clem picks in. And he should confirm the... faster second gateway out of Classic. Okay. So my apologies, did miss that, but that's a 2-gate opener. Second gateway, I believe, before the Nexus. So hyper aggression here from Classic. He's moving out, crowning out the first wave of adepts with 2 more behind this as well. So we're getting a much faster second gateway, much more aggressive start here from Classic, and Clem so far is unaware. Oh, yeah, the Reaper's outside of the bases. Clem is yet to confirm. Getting a safety bunker on the high ground. And here comes Classic. Moves out. Clem, he does pull at least one adept. Dips into the main, and he will count the gateways. Yeah, he sees, he knows. He knows what's going on. Bunker is finishing. So very fortunate that he got the safety bunker. CC is not going to be... Oh my god. Saves the SCV as well. Barely not delayed. Whew. And Clem, he walls up. He walls up. He walls off. 0 damage being dealt here. Denied mining, but so far a solid defense here from Clem. Marine pulls away in time. Reaper is out. And do you see what I see? Once again, that is a second Rax for Clem. And Classic doesn't see. Intentionally he's thrown down a little bit further back. This is very similar to last game. Second Rax. From here, we can go for a third Rax, or we can go for another 2-on-1, 2-base all-in. Does cool down supply. Again, that's a recent change from the start of the year. That does fully heal up the depot. Depot's fully healed, and we're just trying to buy time for the Cyclone. But buying time for the Cyclone. One SCV goes down. Gets a Marine. And the Cyclone pops. And with the help of the Cyclone, Clem, he will shut this down. Gets a lock on the Stalker. Ooh, gets one. Stalker goes down. Classic, he commits though. Yeah, he still commits. He's going for the Cyclone. And he should barely get it. Yeah, Cyclone does fall. Boys are being pulled. And Clem will punish. Catching out the army. 2 Stalkers remain. Oof, down to 1. And was that worth it here for a Classic? It kind of depends on the follow-up. Starport, same build. So 2-on-1. Once again, we're not rushing. We're not going for the add-on swap. We're not rushing to stim. This should be once again for an early tank into an early push. And we spoke earlier about this position here in between the bases. This can be very abusable with an early tank push to wedge yourself in between the third, the fourth, and the natural. Clemmy's going for it. Meanwhile, this was indeed 2-gate blink into a third base. with a more aggressive start, to be fair, but I mean, Classic did lose 3 Stalkers, 2 Adepts, did deny some mining time, but Clem is going for an all-in anyway. Like I say, quote-unquote all-in. It's very committed here. Very committed. Technically, last game, Clem did expand behind it afterwards, but that was after he had killed the 3rd already. And we should be waiting for the 2nd tank. So we wait for the 2nd tank, and then it's go time. So the same push. Same push, just different way we got there. Jesus, that's a massive gateway explosion for Classic. Going into Mass Blink Stalker. Building up 6 gateways. Hallucination does confirm the setup. Classic is aware. Blink is done in a couple of seconds. And here comes a push. Here comes a move out. And can Classic save his 3rd? That should be the goal here for Clem, is to break down the 3rd base. Ooh, does split off the army, okay. Cheeky moves out of Clem. He's trying to bait the army in. Okay, thankfully, Classic does check with 1 Stalker. So 1 Stalker tanks the shots. Classic tries to surround. Clem did already on siege. Jumping across the map. Classic is going for the natural. He breaks in. He breaks into the natural. Oh. Clem pulls away. And Clem, he doesn't turn around. He does not turn. He wants a 3rd. He wants a 3rd base. Back at home, he abandons the natural. We're going for base trade. He forces the recall. Tanks, they do siege, but there's so many Stalkers. And Classic, he dives in. He cleans up all the tanks. 1, 2 tanks go down. And Classic, he holds. He holds. He saves the 3rd base. And Classic, he survives. Better start. Better start for Classic. He saves the 3rd. He does have a worker advantage. Clem, he's stuck on 2 bases. And lost the tanks. Clem, he lost the tanks. He's stuck at home. Better main game, well, better setup for Classic. I say setup just because he still needs to saturate his 3rd base. His tech is delayed, just now working towards splash damage. It's still very tense. Still very tense here. Clem going for his double drop. Classic, he could try to dive into the main. Never mind. Oh, he's trying to intercept. And Classic is trying to catch a drop. It's on the other side. Here comes the main move out. Clem, he still has no expansion. He still has chosen not to get a CC. Clem's still very committed on 2 bases. Just now getting a 3rd. Much more delayed 3rd base here for Clem. And he needs to get some damage to make it worth it. Snaps the Cyber Core. Gets on one of the gateways. Oh, brutal blink. Blink gets punished. A lot of Stalkers going down as well. Classic, big misstep here. Losing, what, 3, 4 Stalkers? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, big misstep. Storm is still not yet done, finishing up in 5 seconds. Clem stumbles into all the Stalkers. Oh, that's away. Storm is done. Storm is ready in time. Classic trying to hold on. He has only 2 Eye Templar, just 1 Storm. He can't waste it. He cannot waste it here. Oh. The retargeting. Let's go. It connects with the Zealots, the most value here for Clem. There's the first Storm. And there's 1 Storm left in the chamber, about to be 2. And more Storms coming in. Let me kites back. Storm mainly just zones. Up. Nice control. Does bait away. It just zones away the High Templar. Takes care of more Zealots. Clem is still pushing in. Behind this, finally taking a 3rd base. But Clem is still very committed, very aggressive. He's up in army supply. But he is yet to break into the bases. He's rotating over. Still looking for a way in. Classic is out of position. He's over at his own triangular third. He has at the fourth base. I'm pushing on the right-hand side. Okay. I thought he was going to push towards the third. The third is so vulnerable right now. Clem plays it safe, denies the fourth. This does give time for Classic to respond. Gives him time. Classic, he pushed into the center. He's still out of position. There's a storm though. Yeah, nice storm. Classic is holding. He saves his third base. His fourth base is late though. Yeah, very late fourth. Prism goes down, denies the warp in. Economically, Classic is not where he needs to be. He's long distance mining. He still has some potential with these thorns, but now there are ghosts. Yeah, ghosts are out, EMPs are available. Classic, he feels like he can't get much done. Shows EMPs. Up! Ooh, does land one. There's 3 Templar left. Does land a decent storm. Yeah, a couple of storms do land. There's what, 3 storms left? Oh, we're a little bit trigger happy. Yeah, too soon. Too premature here. A lot of storms being wasted, and now there's 2 storms left. They're in the prism. Jeez, how many Templar? Oh my god. They just keep popping up. 6 Templar. Where are we headed? Where are we going? Classic, calm down. The High Templar, they go across the map. They do overshoot. Templar, they're coming in from behind. It is so risky having 3 Templar out in the open like this. But hey, he gets into the mineral line. 14 net ACVs. Does cripple the economy. He's forcing Clem's hand. Ooh, Prism goes down. Where are the flanking High Templar? Yeah, they're now coming in. Get some decent storms. Nice EMP. No more storms. He's running out of storms as Zealots have arrived, and Classic, he's barely holding on here. Let's force Clem back. Does force him back. Does keep up. Does deal with the main army. Clem is still rallying across the map as well. Head towards the third. Nice snipes. Snipes the Templar. That was the final storm. That's the only High Templar. Yeah, that's the only Templar left, which means now we can step in. Then we can look just in forward. At least until the Colossus arrives. The Marauders have, oh my god, wait, what? The Marauders, they kill the Colossus, they depower the Robo! And GG gets called despite that. Classic, he does hold on to the main. He gets across the map with the War Prism. GG. Whew, a very messy game. Very messy, very intense game, I should say. GG, well played. A Classic, he does fight back. Again, very intense. Clem was so committed on 2 bases, winding it back. It was a really intense start. We saw that Classic, he went for his initial 2-gate opener. Wasn't really too successful. We saw that Clem went for the follow-up. He went for his own 2-1-1. He was unable to break through any of the bases though. He denied the 4th base, but he did not get into the 3rd. He didn't get the damage he was hoping for. His 3rd base was so late as a result. Likewise, so was the 4th base of Classic. So things were getting very messy. Very messy. Both players had a bit of a lower economy, but in the end, we saw the Zealot run-bys were the key. Time and time again, workers were going down, and Clem was stuck on a lower economy. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 3. Getting into game 3 here, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. This is green Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. Whew, hello, Classic. As he does send it out across the map, sends out his probe, and setting up for a proxy gateway. Okay, so hyper aggression out of Classic. Bold move, considering that we are loading into Tokamak, so there's a higher chance that Clem is going for a greedy economic build. And we'll see if Classic can catch Clem with his pants down. Here we go, as we are going for a 2-gate opener. Again, he's hoping that Clem goes for a low ground command center. Is hoping. And with that, ideally, Classic wants to force a cancel. So force a cancel on the CC. Single gas opener. Clem is going for an economic start. This is lining up for Classic. So far, so good. We are lining things up. CC is going to be on the low ground. And the initial results on the way. No, it's going to come down to the reaction. The reaction of Clem, whether or not he can preserve his base, whether or not he can trade against the army and survive the follow-up. It's going to be double Zealot into Stalker aggression. Again, Cybercore is almost done. Clem, he doesn't go across the map immediately. He's checking for proxies. Okay. He does check his third, checks the center expansion, he confirms. Yeah, he sees both LT, knows exactly what's going on. Back at home, he pulls back, a bunker on the high ground, he cancels the CC. Very quick reaction here out of Clem, the best case scenario for the blue town. Best case scenario, walls up the main base, CC on the high ground. And again, Classic, he was hoping that the Reaper would move out. If the Reaper went across the map, then we would have seen a little more of a committed setup here at the natural, a delayed bunker, and Classic would have just ended the game. He could have just killed. That could have just been game. The Reaper does still fall, but the bunker will complete. Boys are being pulled. One SCV goes down. Bunker does finish. Marines load up. And Clem will hold. And he will hold on. Classic trying to edge out a little bit more damage here, a little bit more value. Back at home, Classic is expanding, and we're trying to macro out of this. Whew. Looking to macro out. Right here, wrong. There's no one. There's not a 2-on-1. It's a tank push. It's a tank push 2-on-1. If you didn't make it clear, did explain that, if you recall. From here, Clem, he does expand, does break out, tank production has begun, and so far, how do we kind of settle in? Honestly, Clem's economy is looking decent. And we'll see if we can catch some Stalkers. Alright, does they move out? They do catch, oh, almost one. There we go, one Stalker does get picked off. Let's get picked off. We're getting into our follow-up. Again, it's going to be a bit of a slower start after the more aggressive, after the aggression of Classic. It's going to be up to Classic to contain Clem for as long as possible while he expands. Behind this, we do have our initial 2 gates set up into a 3rd, so a little bit of a greedier follow-up here. As we're going into charge first, no blink. Okay. Getting into a charge follow-up. With charge, we could try to dive into the natural. Speaking of, he can dive on top of the tank. Yeah, tank should be forfeit. Nice pick up here by Classic. Takes down the tank, takes down the Cyclone. And it does force the boys to be pulled. Oh, even forcing friendly fire. Yeah, a lot of SCV is going to be going down. Very nice fight here for Classic. 10 SCV kills. Takes down 12. And that's the goal here. That's the hope when you open up charge, is you want to fight out in the open. You want to force this kind of reaction. Catch out the tanks. More Zelda warping in, and Classic doesn't go for the standard 3rd base, he goes for the gold. Oh my god. Este Classic. Playing like hero, to be honest. Like proxy 2 gate into charge into gold. Hey, hey, hey. Not what I'm used to seeing out of Classic, is what I will say. Not what I'm used to seeing. Clem is still going to be contained. Behind this, Classic enjoying his 3rd, getting it up and running. And we'll see if Clem can break out. Let's see if he can break out, and how he breaks out as well. And so now he's stuck at home. Oh, gets the observer. Catch the observer. With the added minerals here from the gold, I mean, we can afford a lot of charge lots. And with that, Classic should be able to punish any kind of attempted move out. Assuming he sees it ahead of time. As Clem is yet to confirm. Oh! He's yet to confirm the 3rd. Does break out. There are TCs on the way, so Clem is not turning this into a 2-base all-in. I was curious if he was. If he was just going to commit on 2 bases. But no, Clem is expanding, he's slowly breaking out, and we're going to calm down. We're calming down into a longer game. We'll see if Clem can try to punish these bases. Checking his vision, he still did not confirm the gold, so Clem still doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know what to punish yet. Oh, until now. Shout out to the Raven.
Upgrade. Additional
Raven does scout. Barely gets away as well. And Clem is pushing. Nice reaction, nice rotation. He's going for the gold, and with the help of these tanks, he can set up. Observer gets sniped. Tanks are moving in. Yeah, Classy can't quite engage. Are we going for the base trade? Let's go. We're just going across the map. Avoids the main army, going straight for the natural. Let's go. Oh, I got the mine shots. Decent connections. Decent connections here, but again, Clem is out of position. Zel's taking it to the mineral line. And Clem has to turn all the way back around. A little workers to evacuate, warping into the main base, going for sentries, going for more force fields. Let's go. He force fields the ramp. He can't get in. Yeah, cannot get into the main. I mean, thankfully has medevacs. Oh, also was misplaced. Yeah, misplaced force field. Marines, they get in regardless. Clem, he will lose a mineral line, but he will clean up all these L's at least. And cleans this up. Shuts down the army. Did leave the tanks behind. Which should be cleaned up. Yeah, a bit of a misstep here. Oh. Oh my god, the mine shut down the prison. Prism goes down. Very fortunate there for Clem. Takes down the Prism. Was able to destroy at least some of the mineral patches here. Classic still has an economy to work with. It still has Storm at least as well. But the army size isn't there. This is the main army. This is the army. 3-Eyed Templar, some Zealots. Classic can let out so much there in that base trade, in the intended base trade. And we're going for it again. Okay, Classic hits the natural. Meanwhile, Clem into the main. Let me boost into the main base. Not much of him to defend. Yeah, no Storm. Oh, there's the NG overcharge. We got one Storm in the main. Jesus. Oh my god. Brutal Storm in the main. But it was just one Storm. Yeah, it was just one Storm. Oof. Black West covers the ramp. All the SMEs, they do not escape. Oh my god. The Storms are brutal. And we commit. Depowers the pylons. A couple of probes do get away. So workers will escape. Clem, he has the more efficient army. Shuts down the Zealots, gets into the second base. There is a recall available, but the reality is that Classic cannot fight the main army. And Clem has too much. Clem has far too much here. He'll take down all the bases. He's floating over his main. He evacuates. The Great Migration. Gets the hell out of there. But even if it wasn't for that, it's like the Classic is his ZBS output is just too low. It's just too low. It's too slow to kill the buildings. As there's still mining going on the right hand side. As that's the final Nexus here for Classic. And it is scouted. Clem does scout. He has mules, of course. So we can, yeah, we go. He can just mule up his bases. He still has an economy. And Clemmy turns around. Turns around. He wants that expansion. Oh! Jesus. Okay. Now, there is a chance for Classic to take this fight with Storms. Like, if the Storms, if they are the most perfect Storms, if Clem just takes the Storms to the face, then maybe. Maybe. But that's the only chance. The only real chance here is with Storms. Looks like he will kill bottom right. I spoke too soon. Clem coming to save. Coming in to intercept. And he can clean this up. And he kites well, cleans up with the Zealots, has better upgrades. Oh, brutal losses there for Classic, and that's gonna be game. Like, he had to preserve the army and spend it all together. You had to bring it all together, Pat. Down to 3 Templar, 1 Stalker, a couple of Zealots that are in the main. And Clemmy's cranking out Banshees. Let's go. We're huffing a little bit of I mean, I say copium. Classic doesn't really know what the economic game state is really looking like here. But yeah, the Banshees, they go in, they're cloaked, no detection, they go for the Templar. Oof. And that's going to be the nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin here. All the probes go down. Now we have the final main fight. That was the final Storm. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take a lead in the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very, very intense game here. Honestly, I was really impressed by Classic in the beginning, the first half. The first half of the game got me, right? I was so impressed by Classic's aggression to go for a 2-gate opener, into charge, into the gold expansion as well. As I was saying, I was like, yo, it's like I'm watching Hero right now. Like, it's crazy. It was really cool to see. Unfortunately, he got scouted, if you recall. Like, as soon as the gold base was seen, we saw that Clem, he responded to it. He rotated over. He was able to punish and deny mining at the gold base. We saw that Classic's response to that was the base trade. If you remember, we had the main army pushing towards the gold. Classic, he avoided the main fight. He went straight across the map, And he dealt a lot of damage. He was able to cripple the economy, and he tried to commit even harder, pushing further into the main base, force fielding the ramp. Unfortunately, the force fields were a little bit misplaced, and of course we had the medevacs to drop into the main as well. So Clem, he was able to still take control of his own main base, deal with the main army, and in a head-on fight, Classic just couldn't take it. He just could not take a head-on fight. He just could only go for said base trades, and GG all played. In the end, he got cleaned up, he got shut down, and Clem did overwhelm. Now we're getting into our next game, but again, a very chaotic game. That's very chaotic. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. As now we're loading into Pylon. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, here of Pylon, we have the French Terran player. We have the French Terran. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1. One game away from claiming the series. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Green Protoss, the Blue Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Here we go. The game plan is pretty well thought out by Classic, for sure, I would say that. So that's what was most impressive to me from Classic. But Clem, he was able to, in the end, punish and just force a more awkward game state at a Classic with the base trades. Here we go. So loading into Pylon. Pylon is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Pylon. And for the first time this series, double gas. Double gas opener out of Clem. Every game so far we've seen Rax expands, but now not anymore. At least not here, not on Pylon, which makes sense. Does make sense. So with the double gas opener, that means we're going to be getting a faster factory. We're going to be going for a delayed command center. And with this, it's going to be a more tech-heavy start, faster starport as a result as well. From here, Clem has options. He can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He can go for more committed early Cyclone. He can go for early Banshee play or committed Banshee play. Widowmine drops. Show us what you got. So Classic does open up. Standard. Gate Cyber Expand. Gate Cyber Expand. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure my camera is now out of battery. Unfortunate. Yeah, Bunny Cam is frozen. Only lasts 3 hours. I don't really have a good solution to it yet. Not yet. But now Clem going for the CC on the high ground as well. Very safe play. Very safe. And Clem behind the Reaper does open up with the early Tech Lab. So no Hellion, no Widowmine play. Is going for the Tech Lab on that factory. From here we can try to set up for a later add-on swap. We'll see. For now it's going to be a Cyclone opener. If it's USB powered, you can always power it by a phone power bank. I tried, but I guess it's not compatible. Like I plugged it into the power bank, but it was just not. It was not taking. So unfortunately, that did not work. We have Classic going for a safer build, which is what we're used to seeing here. We have 3 gates, so 3-gate Blink at a Classic staying on 2 bases, going for a delayed 3rd expansion. Meanwhile, Clem back at home getting to his own 1-1-1 into early tank push. Speaking of, here he comes. We have the tank in the medevac, we have a reinforcing tank behind this, and Clem, he's sending everything across the map. This is a very common build for Clem, especially on Pylon. It's hyper aggressive, very committed, and he's going straight for the kill, straight for the natural. Let's go. Let's go. Tank does get within range of the shield battery. Shots going up. Does get the sentry. Yeah, nice pick up. Sentry goes down. Shield battery's out of Benji. And Clem is forcing his way in. Again, we've seen this build with Clem versus Hero, Clem versus Max. Very fond of it. Just go for the 1-1-1. Rally the first tank. And just keep rallying back. The tanks, the Vikings, the everything. Classic gets the buy time for the Immortal. The Immortal's on the way. The Immortal's still in production here. Oof. And with that, does focus out the tank. Tank does fall. Does get the tank, and Clem still forcing his way in. Does focus out 3 more Stalkers, brutal pickups, and here comes the second tank. Yeah, deal with one, another does rise to take its place. Clem still pushing in, the Immortal's almost out. The Immortal's almost arrived. Casito, papi, casito. Even with the Immortal, though, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. He blinks in. Goes to blink. Gets a tank. Tank barely goes down. A nice micro there. Yeah, nice pick up micro against the Immortal. Immortal still falls. And we've got enough time for what? For the 3rd tank. the 3rd tank has arrived. Again, every time one tank goes down, the other barely arrives in time. A tank has arrived, Viking as well. And Clem has done it. Clem, he has done it. He has broken through, takes out all the Stalkers, takes down the mineral line, and there is nothing left to defend. We're warping in 1 unit, 1 Stalker. That's it. That's the army. Down to 1 Stalker. He dances. I appreciate the dance towards the end. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. If you've been watching Clem versus Classic recently, I say recently, maybe the past 2 weeks, they keep doing that whenever they GG out. Both Clem and Classic, the slash dance. I love it. But GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Clem. He will claim the series at 2-1. He will advance on. A very intense back and forth here. When it comes to Classic, unfortunately, he was unable to slow down the push. We were a little bit distracted at the time, unfortunately, when it came to getting into the build itself. But just hyper aggressive, basically 2-base to win out of Clem, going for his 1-1-1 into Cyclone, into tank production, just rallying everything across the map with your tanks, with your Vikings. Unfortunately, ideally, as a Protoss player, you want to be engaging ahead of time in the center of the map to slow down the push, to delay the siege, to delay the tanks, to buy as much time as possible. If you remember, Classic didn't engage with the army until it was already in his face. It was already at his natural, which is also why you see this build in Pylon. We spoke about this at the start of the game. Pylon is the smallest map of the map pool, shortest rush distance by ground. It is the most aggressive map, right? It's the most aggressive map. This map favors this kind of play. This kind of play is bolstered, is boosted by the map itself. So it's buffed by the map, so you have even less time to react, even less time to respond. And again, Classic, he wasn't able to engage ahead of time. GG. GG, well played. With that, he couldn't buy enough time, and Clem does claim the series. And now we can catch up on the rest of the brackets. Okay. Here we go. So we have our bracket updated. We have our quarterfinals concluding. Creator, he kicked things off with a 3-0 win over Percival, did advance on to the semis. Shin took down Beyond 3-0 as well. So we have Creator versus Shin in the upper semis. Rogue, he does fall to Hero. Hero takes down Rogue 3-1. We had an intense back and forth. We had a late game win as well there for Rogue, which was very impressive. That was on ley lines, if you remember. That was Hero having too much fun with carriers and being stuck on carriers a little bit too long and being a little bit inefficient with his fights. Then of course we had Classic and Clem facing off, also intense, also back and forth, very high octane, a lot of aggression, a lot of 2-base play as well from both sides, I should say. A lot of aggression from both sides, but in the end Clem did claim it. GG, well played. And with that, we have our top 4. We have our top 4 for the tournaments. We have Creator, Shin, Hero, and Clem. Now, bear this in mind, this was only day 1. Day 1 of LiuLi Cup. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with day number 2 with the semifinals and finals of the tournament. Again, this is an invitational. Big shout to LiuLi. LiuLi is Saber. Saber, he's a Chinese content creator, he's a Chinese caster, and he does run these events on a semi-regular basis. There are 2 tournaments that he runs. He runs LiuLi Cup weekly. That is not this. And he runs LiuLi Cup. LiuLi Cup, this is an invitational. So every now and then, it's like maybe every 2 weeks. It's very sporadic, but every now and then he does host these tournaments. Sometimes it's a single elimination bracket, sometimes it's like a off-race tournament, like an off-race show match, sometimes it's a round-robin group. It's a show match, it's an invitational, and every tournament it's something different, does something different. Here it was just a more standard, like kind of 8-player invitational, single elimination bracket, best of 5s into best of 7 finals, and that is going to be wrapping up tomorrow. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Some really intense games here, and unfortunately we weren't able to showcase any of the TLMC 21 maps yet, but we should be able to do so next time. For now though, let's catch up on our schedule very quickly here. Bam, there we go. You can see our weekly schedule here. We just wrapped up with our Monday cast. Tomorrow we're going to be live, I say tomorrow, in around 10 hours. Yeah, in around 10 hours time, we're going to be live with day 2 of LiuLi Cup. So 10 hours from now, we're going to be live once again. You can see here we have Pixar Cup on Wednesday. We have the SC2 Safe House Playoffs replay cast on Wednesday evening. We have the Turtle Tussle on Thursday. We have the Platinum StarCraft League Saturday evening, or I guess Friday evening, Saturday morning. We have RSL over the weekend and Tuna Cup as well. RSL, that is the Revival StarCraft Season 3 qualifiers. The qualifiers are this weekend, so it's going to be the Korean qualifier, the European qualifier, and the global qualifier, and the Americas qualifier as well. So we have qualifiers for all the regions. That is starting this weekend over the next week of play. So a couple of days of qualifiers. We should be able to cover all of them. I know that last season we were unavailable for some of the casts. Do apologize for that, but this season we should be there. We should be able to cover all those qualifiers, and again, that's going to be starting this weekend. Oh boy. So we have RSL, we have Turtle Tussle, Pixar Cup, S2 Safe House, and more. And also, of course, the podcast. The podcast every week. Every week we have a talk show. We have a podcast here where we do catch up with all the news of the week, with everything that's been happening in StarCraft. Of course, the big announcement is this week the return of Kung Fu Cup, right? The return of Kung Fu Cup, the return of the Chinese server, and the big tournament that is around the corner as well. There's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, and potentially the return of WTL. Don't want to confirm anything. I think it's just rumors for now. But again, SE Boy, they are back in StarCraft, and they're investing quite heavily once again, thanks to, of course, their partnership with NetEase, and thanks to the return of the Chinese server. So a lot of hype, a lot of StarCraft is on the horizon here. I think there's even some scheduling issues, if I recall correctly. I think RSL and the SE Boy tournament, I think they're clashing a little bit, and I think they're going to try to resolve that. I think that they're going to try to resolve that as well. And of course, we have more content on the horizon. As always, we're typically live all the time. We used to be live twice a day, every day. Nowadays, it's a little bit leaner, a little bit lighter. Some days we have 2 casts, other days we at least have at least one cast a day sort of thing. Here on the CranKy Ducklings. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys next time. Potential Chinese client death sounds. True. No. The best part of the Chinese clients. Aye. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And again, we'll be live with day 2 of LiuLi Cup in 10 hours time. And we have, of course, plenty more StarCraft on the way this week. This is our weekly schedule. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. The Patreon does support our weekly and regular tournaments, our weeklies and monthlies, all funded via Patreon. Otherwise, you can just support us by following us. By following us here on Twitch, you can also follow us over on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. VODs are uploaded on a daily basis, so we have plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. More than Wardy, more than Steadfast. We have all the content, we have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Do appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you in 10 hours. See you tomorrow. Till then, I'm gonna go let the bunnies out. I'm gonna go let the bunnies out. And decompressed. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.